Welcome back, everyone, or, well, welcome to the podcast no one asked for.
Today we're talking about knowledge management, or as I like to call it, the thing standing between you and the chaos within an organization.
That's a bold claim.
Well, it's actually supported by multiple peer-reviewed studies.
Yo, that's even bolder. Let's go.
Okay, so we're Group 13, and today we're talking about knowledge management, or KM for short, which is basically the discipline that says, hey, the stuff people know, and yeah, that's an asset. Let's not waste it.
What a wild concept.
And yet, most organizations do. Waste it, I mean.
Which is exactly why we're here. So here's the thing. Actually, we are drowning in data right now. We do have a lot of lectures, PDFs, portal notifications, group chats at 12 a.m. that nobody asked for.
I muted those, by the way.
And that is exactly the problem. You muted it. You didn't process it. Without KM, we just collect data but never turn it into something or anything useful.
Yes, Dr. Floor explains this through the DIKW model, which stands for Data, Information, Knowledge, and Wisdom. And did you know that he used a cooking analogy to explain this in an easier way? Raw ingredients stands for data. The finished dish is information. And the nutrients that your body absorbs are the knowledge. And the long-term health you build? Well, that is the wisdom.
So, when I cram for an exam and forget everything by Thursday, that is just a data?
Yeah, it looks like you ate the raw egg.
Okay, that's fair. I have a mascot for everything wrong with learning without KM. We can call him Carl.
Hey, we didn't agree on that name.
Carl is a caveman. He discovered fire in the summer. He's thriving, warm, happy, and cooking things that he wants. But then, winter comes, and because of that, he forgets everything. And when summer came again, he rediscovers fire. Yeah, he might feel the same excitement as before, but the thing is, he has zero progress. That's Carl, forever and ever.
On the other hand, Nonaka and Takuchi actually describe this in organizational theory. Without KM, learning is a circle. It repeats. But with KM, it becomes a spiral where each cycle builds on the last. Hagi and Kingston added 6 stages to this, which are scanning, problem solving, abstraction, diffusion, absorption, and impact, where each complete cycle produces more refined knowledge than the one before.
But only if the cycles are connected without KM linking them, they are just isolated Carls.
Perpetually rediscovering fire.
Rest in peace, Carl.
Did you know that according to the 2025 Prisma-based systemic review, where Alam and colleagues found that KM systems are, and I quote, crucial tools for enhancing organizational performance, which makes it faster, accessible, at lower costs, and with fewer errors.
Fewer errors in a workplace? Wow, that's groundbreaking.
Yes, but the 30 to 50% statistics is honestly wild. If your team spends like 3 hours a day hunting for files and asking, wait, didn't we do this already? But KM, it cuts that in half.
So instead of spending 45 minutes looking for the 2019 PowerPoint, someone already tagged it, and now I find it in 30 seconds?
Yes, that's the dream.
That sounds fake, but okay, now I want it.
Yep. Dr. Floor calls this the digital nervous system, where the organization shares and reuses its own knowledge, like a living organism. And a 2025 study by Chris Tosh confirms that this compounds into innovation, which then further improves performance.
Yes, you stop reinventing the wheel and you start making better wheels.
Okay, real talk. Imagine someone at your office. She's been there for 22 years. She knows everything. She knows which vendor to never call on a Friday. She knows the system shortcut that saves an hour per report. And she knows why Project Bravo actually failed in 2017. Not the official version, but the real version.
And one day she retires.
She retires, she goes home, she grows tomatoes, and all of that knowledge, it's all gone because nobody wrote it down.
That's right. This is called the tacit knowledge problem, because explicit knowledge lives in documents, which are easy to keep, but tacit knowledge lives in people's heads, and it walks out the door with them. Damdir calls this undocumented knowledge a treasure, at risk of becoming gray literature. This is why KM tools such as wikis, forums, and interviews exist specifically to capture it before it disappears. A research by Mansour and Abarkub actually found that Abu Dhabi TV has seen a 45 to 67% improvement in creativity and competitive production, all thanks to KM practices. That means KM isn't limited to white-collar stuffiness and can be applied to creative work. KM can even be used in addressing national, regional, or global issues.
You're telling me that it can help the world? Like, even save the poor?
Unironically, yes. This is what Dr. Floor calls knowledge management for development, where we employ the intellectual capital from KM to reach SDGs. Right now, we are in an information age that isolates the information poor, who are also resource poor.
Dr. Floor explains that KM can bridge this divide through policymakers using KM to solve problems and reduce poverty. Think of it this way. If farmers across the country don't have the knowledge to grow better produce,
That affects what we eat?
yes, and since we value high-quality produce, those in charge can arm farmers with the knowledge they need to grow it.
With that in mind, we can't neglect agriculture. If we're going to help farmers in raising better crops, we have to document it for posterity.
And when we say agriculture, we don't just mean by agro, part of it. We also mean culture.
Right. Dr. Floor established KM as a keeper of the innate common sense of farmers, fishers, and housewives by recording and protecting traditional farming, culture, and indigenous wisdom.
Ethnovideography, a system of KM, can immortalize these practices. Traditional rice fish farming and planting cycles, rich with environmental wisdom, are preserved through footage connecting cultural, survival, and biodiversity conservation.
So it's basically a twofer, a still, if you will.
Except you pay with knowledge.
Oh, hold a sec. I just remembered I have a test tomorrow. Let me cram a bit.
There is a time and place for everything, you know.
Shh. Let's just cut this part out. Uh-oh.
What?
I can't find my notes.
How?
It's just, I don't know, all over the place. My English and reading notes are all mixed up with science and math.
How does that even happen?
I just write it all down in one go, I guess.
Wait a minute. This could be relevant.
You're right. Mitch's bad note-taking might actually help us here.
You're going to use me as a cautionary example? Wow. Thanks, guys.
If you don't practice KM, even in academic life or mundane settings, things could go astray fast. Just like Mitch.
Hey!
Which is why we encourage you to use KM, even for personal projects. Organizing your notes into a searchable repository will save your future self a headache.
I'll show you what the headache is.
And with that, we've shown you reasons why KM is a reliable tool in any situation, whether it's through improving services,
Innovating media,
Or preserving ancient wisdom. KM allows us to utilize that knowledge instead of wasting time.
now you can spend less time scratching your head over how you misplaced your notes and more time actually absorbing it.
Is this targeted?
nonsense. We know Brel was just making a broad example. Right, Brel?
Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night. Anyway, that marks the end of our talk on knowledge management.
We hope you take this into consideration for a more efficient and sustainable future.
Thanks for sticking around. Once again, this is Group 13 signing off.